Can the best phone on the market beat the cheapest Canon full-frame camera? Let's start with the long exposure test and capture the small waterfall here. What is better to buy, the flagship phone or the whole camera system right here? You'll be surprised, but they cost the same price. The second-hand Canon RP cost around 500 euros. Here we have 16mm ultra-wide-angle lens that cost 108 euros. That monster here, 70-200, 2.8, we got it for 550 because the previous person dropped the camera and cracked the screen, but it works without any problem. Very old, 24-70 for just 180 euros. 2.8 version, and we have a 35mm lens for around 300 euros. The whole system costs as much as a phone. There are two ways how to achieve the amazing long exposure with the S24 Ultra. The first one is completely for free. Go to the Expert Raw application, go to the settings and activate the ND filter. It is a software ND filter, but you can easily go to 2 seconds of exposure. But to get the best result, it's better to invest in ND filters. To snap this photo, I used ND 1000. It allowed me to go to 8 seconds of exposure. What is better, 8K phone footage against full frame Full HD? That camera cannot even record 4K footage. I was quite surprised of the quality of the 8K video. Usually when you have a larger sensor paired with professional lenses, it should produce much better results than a small sensor with small lenses. But that's not the case here. In perfect lighting conditions, the phone is so much sharper and the image looks so much better. There is one reason for that, the dynamic range. That phone has killing dynamic range and it cannot be compared to the camera. To test how good is the dynamic range, I pointed both cameras to look at the sun. And it's unbelievable. You can see so much in the shadows with the Samsung. The camera, all the shadows are crushed. The perfect condition to test the performance of both devices is sunset. We have one of the most beautiful light, it's not that bright, but we have crazy big dynamic range, so both devices will be operating at their maximum. The 10x lens on the S24 Ultra is the Eastern egg. That lens shouldn't be good because it's a digital zoom, but in reality it's really good. You hardly can notice any loss of quality when you film in perfect lighting conditions. That is because you're filming on 8K sensor and you're just cropping in the middle and you don't have any loss of quality. But the pixels are really tiny on that sensor and in low light the image is falling apart very fast. So during the day, perfect image quality. Next, I want to check how they perform on the move. For this test, I'll use gimbals from Huhem. They make excellent gimbals for both mobile phones and compact cameras like Canon RP. The phone will be on the iSteady M6 and the camera on the MT2. Their performance is very similar, with the main difference being how much weight they can handle. Using gimbals from the same company will help us avoid any variations that may come from using different brands. One area where the phones are still not so good is the background blur. To check how well an old camera will do here, I mounted a 35mm 1.8 lens and the phone we put in cinematic mode. To make the blur look more natural, I stepped up the f-stop to f4 on the Samsung. In In low light, to get better footage with your phone, you have to reduce the resolution. From 8K we have to reduce it to 4K. In this way the phone combines 4 small pixels in one big pixel and makes the phone more sensitive to light and improves dramatically the image quality. I have a whole video going through the best settings for night videos with your phone, link in the description. Now let's come back to the low light performance, the camera vs the phone. Definitely the phone holds really good and produces impressive image, but when you look closely the details are falling apart. I was just going to say that the S24 Ultra footage is falling apart very fast at night because the phone is adding a lot of noise reduction and after that applying a lot of sharpening on top. But when I compare the footage of the camera side by side with the phone, both are falling apart and the details are really not clear. I was shocked. If I didn't check the labels, I wouldn't be able to recognize which footage is which. I'm shocked how bad is the Canon when recording video at night. After going through the footage, I'm shocked to see that the S24 Ultra is catching up with a semi-professional full-frame camera with professional lenses mounted to it. In some areas it was even performing better. But it's not everything flowers and butterflies. There are a couple of things you can directly notice with the phone footage. There is a lot of sharpening added, and that sharpening leads to a lot of artifacts, and it's very prominent in the details. On the other hand, Canon provides you a really smooth transition between shadows and highlights, and the image is really not sharpened artificially. You have a lot of details compared to the phone. No matter those issues, I would say that the phone is the clear winner in the video category. With the photos is a little bit different. When you snap a photo even with a cheap semi-professional mirrorless camera, they're able to take 14 or 16-bit files, and that's a lot of information. With the phone usually the files are 10-bit, and the difference between 10 and 14-bit image is dramatic. Tell me which footage do you prefer more, the phone or the camera, and how about we do a comparison with my Sony camera? If you want that comparison, write me in the comment section, and now go out and check this episode, you're gonna love it. See you in the next video. Bye!